Hey, what's up, team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. This video is on extroversion. Just wanted to talk about it a little bit as my understanding is solidifying and I'm finding better words and ideas and different methods of explaining it to people. So I'm going to share some of those with you and hope that they help. And I do want to hear your understanding of extroversion as well. Extroversion is basically, it's a method of focusing our energy, and how we focus our energy for an extrovert is outside of ourselves, and this is extroverted functions as well, not just extroverts. So it's looking at the objective world, not tied to yourself and who you are and your personal experiences or your personal understanding of the different logical components of it or anything like that. It's just, this is the world and this is how it makes sense. This is reality, right? And there are different ways of approaching that through like sensing or intuition, thinking, feeling, but essentially it is objective. It's the shared version of the world that everybody can also experience. Everybody can touch a table. That is objective, right? Everybody can look at something and look at the situation and see the possibilities that could come from that. That is also a shared objective experience, despite it going on within your mind. I hope that makes sense. And so, yeah, like I said, it's communal, it's shared, it's we oriented. It's what everybody else can experience and is experiencing. And it's a lot of times real time. It's what is happening right now, immediately, and it's about movement, keeping things going a lot of times, catalyzing, the process, as Dario Nardi calls it, expanding on the experiences or the logical applications and things like that. And it's continuing it and adapting to what happens in the real time. And that's not just extroverted sensing, that's every extroverted function. Like extroverted feeling, if you see somebody and, for example, they're looking kind of down, looking kind of sad, and you go up there and you kind of try to cheer them up, you try to boost their morale a little bit and improve harmony and all that stuff. When that changes, you are changing with that. So sensing is looking at the tangible aspects of the world. I like to think of it as the experiential aspects of the world. And extroversion encourages us to look outside of ourselves to that we-oriented, shared version of reality. So you can easily understand extroverted sensing as combining tangible, sensory-based world with objective world. So it's probably going to be focused on what's going on around you in the immediate environment. People, things, events, experiences, things like that, right? So extroverted intuition, well, intuition is looking at the abstractions from what is going on around you. So seeing a table and then seeing what could come out of that table or come from the table, not necessarily out of the table, or looking at the events and seeing what's happening now and then predicting what is a possibility that could happen in this immediate or very soon future. And so let me back up a little bit. Intuition is looking at those underlying patterns, right? And so extroversion is that part that is encouraging you to combine what is going on in real time around you in the immediate way, getting things going, shaking it up a little bit, and then seeing the new possibilities that could come from that. Thinking, so if we're talking about extroverted thinking is a method of making decisions, judgments, assessments, but it's based on objective criteria. And I don't mean objective in the same way as extroversion and introversion. Objective as in not based on the human component, as much. So it's looking at the categories and the theories and the logical approach to things, using your head as opposed to your heart. And so if you combine that with extraversion, the desire to merge with what is happening and shared reality, right? Then you're going to have somebody who is trying to keep track of things, trying to measure things, like looking at the time and the cost and all these other objective measurements and categories and things, right? In order to make the most efficient logical approach to getting their goal. And then extroverted feeling, well, you have feeling, which is the evaluative, judging function. That's looking to see what is right and wrong and good and bad, and it's more connected to that human component, right? And if you combine that with extraversion, then you have somebody who is looking outside of themselves, probably to other people, to see what is the right thing to create harmony and to make people feel good. And obviously it's not always going to do that. It depends on how you wield it. A priest can be a shadow priest too, right? And so if you were to take this into an RPG world, as we like to do here, extroverted sensing, you have sensing, tangible reality, but I like to think of it as this warrior kind of style, up close. It's a gladiator in my kind of new imagining of it. And so that's someone who lives off that energy in the environment, lives off the world, right? The ground, the experiences that are going on right now. Like, imagine the crowd like cheering on the gladiator. He is getting, or she is getting, juiced and pumped up from that, and feeling the heat, right? Warming your body. And they're the ones that are going to be able to grab the tools around them and use those tools as extensions of their physical self, without separation from it. They get energized by merging with the tangible environment. Extroverted intuition, I'd like to think of it as this gunner style. It's got many different, guns and weapons, but his main one is that shotgun. And he's all about shaking things up, expansive AoE, as extraversion is, and creating new possibilities and exploring what could be. And extroverted thinking, as I've been thinking about it, is this rune master style, this kind of battle mage. So he's using objective logical principles, and he's got these runes that help him control the resources of the world around him. And it's not this detached, long range, casting a spell that you've spent a long time memorizing and things like that. No, it's I have this glyph here, I'm going to use this to get an immediate result, and I'm going to interact with that. And I'm going to command other people to do it in a logical way. And then extroverted feeling is that healer style mixed with extraversion. And so they're the ones that are going to be looking at the people, looking at the health bars, trying to see how they can heal people, but it's going to be in a breadth focus. It's expansive, it's outward, right? It's getting things moving. And not shielding them, but pushing them to go out there and get back into the fight and topping them off and stuff like that, right? Boosting their morale in very real ways. And that is not subjective, right? That is objective. You're looking at it. Everybody could see it, but the different extroverted functions encourage you to build up that habit of interacting with the world in that certain way. Hope that makes sense. So that is about it. That's all I wanted to talk about with extraversion. I hope it was helpful, and I do want to hear any unique analogies, metaphors, or just like key words that you really like that fit with extraversion. Okay? All right, so keep up the lifelong questing. Thank you very much for watching and sharing this. If you know somebody that this could help. Because if it helped you, it'll probably help somebody else. and don't keep geek psychology a secret, right? All right. So keep up the lifelong questing. Again, good luck, have fun, and peace.